Cool. So I wanted to talk about goal setting, or more importantly, clarity when it comes to acting. So if we're first starting our career path, then we need to ask ourselves, what kind of actor do we want to be? First of all, do we really even want to be an actor? Also, there's no way, like, no reason to get bogged down like this. Like, theater actors, there's film actors, there's like sketch acting, there's like just like stand up, there's musical theater, there's like actor musos, which is musicians plus actors. There is like acting teacher, there's so many different types of acting. So we need to be really, what's the ultimate dream? Is our dream to perform in Broadway? Is our dream to perform in the West End? Is our dream to work in Hollywood films? Is our dream to work in independent French cinema? What is our dream? And it's so important to answer that question for ourselves, because if not, we will most likely be going to be fulfilling everybody else's dreams. And even though that's a valid strategy for acting, because I have had, for instance, I was at a Q&A of a film, I think it was like Red Joan, with Dame Judi Dench, and she was like, honestly, I just took every single job that I was offered because I was always afraid that there wasn't going to be another job after that. And fair enough, like I've heard that from another famous old British actor. So I do think there's truth in that. Like, by just doing a lot of acting jobs, we get better at our craft. And another thing is that we get to network, but that's a weird word. We just get to make friends in film. And this is outstanding because there's so many like different styles and genres of directors and projects that we then get to form a really good like picture of like what we want in life. What we want in film. Like, what kind of genre do we want to work with? What kind of people do we want to work with? Do we want to, and when I mention like film acting, there's also like, is it, drama or sitcom? And why does this matter so much if we're thinking that we're just going to take every job that comes along? Because sometimes we do get the odd possibility of choosing, and then we get to see, okay, so then do we take the acting job that is more like a sitcom, or do we take the acting job which is also kind of modeling? So if deep down, I don't think like I want to get in the sitcom world, I'm more interested in acting/modeling, then this would be your choice, right? So, but if we don't have the clarity of where we're going, this would be a conundrum. Then we would think, okay, how much is this paying? And then, but what are the dates of this one? Where is it located? And how am I going to get there? Is it location, accommodation, included in all these things, which are important questions to answer anyway when we're considering a job. However, it is really good to know exactly where we're going so that all the decisions to get to the goal that we want, even though they might take us a little bit off course, we will ultimately get to our goal, which is here. And the beautiful thing as well is that we'll feel like we're somewhat centered. Even though we might take odd jobs, we are still very clear where we're going. And I think that's incredibly powerful, because that also helps us have deadlines with ourselves. And I used to think, but what's the point of having goals, right? I'm just going to put in the work and forget goals. But I recently realized, because also between us, I reached a goal that I never thought I would ever get in my life when I was 19. And what happened was that when I reached that goal, I realized this is the opposite of what I ever wanted like in my life. And so I was then very scared of going for goals, because I realized I could get to that goal and regret it so much. So what's the point of killing yourself in the process if you're going to hate it once you get there? I don't know if maybe this is just my situation, but I bet that there's tons of people in life that are super achievers. And if we don't take care of our own fulfillment, then achieving goals means nothing, because we're achieving them for the wrong reason. So instead of thinking, okay, the reason why I am achieving my goal is because I want someone to say that I'm worthy, or validation, which, to be honest, I think is where a lot of us start from, right? it's then important to know, okay, there's different reasons for getting to goals. It's not just for what other people can give to me, but it's more like what I can give. It's because the secret, yeah, you can see this. The secret to living is giving. Because it is what we get that helps us get by. Like if we get paid for a job, that can feel freaking amazing, and that's what we want. Amazing, you're doing phenomenal. Actually, what we give to others, it's what's life changing and what is the juice of life and what gets us going. Because ultimately, we all end up dead, and we can't take our possessions with us. Ultimately, I think what matters is how many lives we've been able to help improve, feel better, do better. So definitely the secret of living is giving. So in terms of the reasons why we would we'll want goals is because of growth. Because why even want to achieve things in the first place is because by growing we become a better version of ourselves, or I guess ultimately closer to who we wanted to become. It's really cool to to start with the end in mind and say, okay, so what's the type of person that I want to be? Do I want to be a veggie? A vegetarian? Do I want to be an actor? Do I want to be someone in finance? And then, do I want to live in New York? Do I want to live in Lima? Do I want what are my friendships like? Tons or select, but really deep. So it's important that we can have goals in all these different areas as well as acting. And we've looked at why. I think another exercise for getting truly to the deep level of why, for instance, okay, why I'm doing acting, let's say, first of all, because I think it's fun. But why fun? Because get to meet new friends that also love acting and they're pretty much like me. So I feel like we have a sort of belonging, like a tribe. And why is new friends important? Because friends and I guess humans are, they're the gift of life, even though it can also be hell in the planet. As we know, there's people that are really mean, but I think also they can definitely be the gift of humanity. And why is important to have the gift of humanity is because I think that gets us closer to God. Anything that truly elevates our life, I think, gets us closer to God. So now we have fun, new friends, friends and humans are why, because that's the gift of humanity. 5 gets us closer to God. And why is getting closer to God important? Because it makes me feel like I'm achieving the impossible on this planet. And why is this important? Because I think why is achieving the impossible? Because I'd be hanging out with with the people that have gone the extra mile, people that tapped into something extra and were able to leave something that helped tons of others. Like I'm thinking about, now that I'm reading the book Karma by Sadhguru, he talks about, spirituality. And I think that is going the extra mile. That is truly, being able to tap into something that's so much bigger than our, daily things that we're doing. So I think it's getting to hang out with, or at least in the Hall of Fame of like people that went a little bit further. And why is that important? Because I think that's the ultimate like freedom to choose your life. And ultimately I think it's just fun as well. It's exciting. But then you get to help others. Point is to go really, really deep and see all the reasons why we're doing this. It's not just because I couldn't do anything else, which is a fair enough reason. But it just helps to have a really deep understanding truly why we're doing things. So now that we know, it's important to understand, okay, what is the location? Where do we see ourselves acting? Is it New York? Is it London? Is it Paris? Is it LA? Is it Sydney? Is it Tokyo? You get it. Location is one of the questions. So I would suggest truly to move there if you're truly like sure this is what you want to do in your life, I would suggest just move there if possible. If not possible, work from your local city up, which I think either way works. They're just very different strategies. So just growing and growing and growing, and it'll eventually get you to the location where you want to be, which I think is really good because we have time to really improve our craft and try to always give more, aka do a better job at acting. And if we do have the possibility to move to the other place, I think the sooner we start, if we don't have any connections, we start meeting people just by living in the same city, by taking classes, and then through really hard work, we're going to also get to not only the physical location where we want to be, but also the point of our careers where we want to be. So there we go. Knowing exactly where we want to be, what kind of work we want to be doing, helps us make sure that ultimately we are getting to the goal, no matter how some bizarre jobs we might have to get in the way because we need them. We know that ultimately we are still making our way to the goal. And I just wish you the very best. I love you. I want you to do amazing, and which is why I am going over the things that I messed up in order so that you can go straight to your victory, because I don't want anybody to do these silly mistakes. I want you to live your best life, to get your best career out of the way so you can use your talent, which might be through extremely hard work, which I think is always the way, or at least like dedicated work or smart work or just a long time doing the work, and also a gift from the universe, God, whatever. So you got it. I believe in you. Let's go kick some ass. I would imagine just like write it down, like legit, even in like a paper, or like put it up on your wall, just something that helps you know where you're going, not as a way to ask ourselves, why am I not there yet, but just to know that inevitably we'll get there. Through our daily actions, no matter if it'll take some time, because as a lot of actors have told me, it is a freaking marathon, not a sprint. And that's why it's so important that we tap into our inner resourcefulness, and emotional resilience, and the other video that I talked about, which is confidence. Love you.